I want to show you something very important, sounding like the expert, okay? What sounds better to you? Ready? These are the words. With, one of, our, right? So if you're speaking to somebody in conversational English and trying to influence them, okay? If I say to you, at the Marriott Hotel with one of our top Forex traders, Clive Arnell, okay, I don't sound sharp as a tack because, frankly, the words with, one, and of, and our are really irrelevant. They need to be put together into one word to sound boom, to the point, okay? So I'd say with one of our. This is how people sound interesting. Remember Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Who's seen the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Hi, my name is so-and-so. Remember the teacher? He goes, Bueller, we're talking about the economic depression in 1934, and they had the Smoot-Hawley Act, right? And all the kids are like, snoring. What is that? That's the exaggeration of the world's worst tonality and pacing, right? Every word is said with the same tone, the same beat and staccato, right? That puts someone to sleep. The brain habituates, okay? If you're listening to the radio, it's bom, 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 you turn the station. You habituate. You don't want to hear it, right? So if you say to someone, one of our top Forex traders, okay, the expert says with one of our top Forex traders, not with one of our top Forex traders. That's what a novice says. And is a novice sharp as a tack? No. Is he an expert? No. You don't think that the reason I walked down the street and she walked down the street and we got two different results was because of that? It was just that. I walked in, hey, what are you paying on your mortgage? Not, what are you paying on your mortgage? What rate are you paying? Or what rate are you paying? No, what rate are you paying on your mortgage? Boom, I'm in a rush. Either you want it or you don't. This is so powerful for people, especially on the phone, and a lot of your opening calls come on the phone because it's the easiest way to qualify, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to contract these words together. So it's going to be the Marriott Hotel with one of our top, not with one of our top, it's with one of our, you get it? Your stress words are Forex trader James Arnell, right? So it's not with one of our top Forex traders, James Arnell. It's one of our top Forex traders, James Arnell. Does that ring a bell? So let's hear that. You try it. With one of our top Forex Bingo. You hear the difference? You catch that difference? Now you're saying, well, does that make it? It makes a big difference when you're here in the sale, okay? When you're here and you're trying to make points, really salient points, and get to a close. Those ways you group the words together. You need to learn what words to group together and what words stand out. That's how you keep somebody's attention, okay? Keep one of our top Forex traders, James Arnell.
One of our top Forex traders, James Arnell.
Does that ring a bell?
Does that ring a bell?
Much better. Okay, great. Say it. Yeah, it does.
Okay, great.
Now? Yeah, keep reading.
Okay, great. Well, the reason for the call today is that you're one of the last of our group that hasn't actually enrolled yet.
Okay, stop. I'm ready? He says, okay, great. Now, the reason for the call today, okay, is that you're one of the last of the group who hasn't enrolled yet, right? You say, okay, great. Now, the reason for the call today, which one sounds better, his or mine? Okay? They're in the same league? Say it. Say the first one. Go. Now, the reason for the call, say it.
The reason for the call.
Okay, now, the reason for the call. Okay? By dropping your voice, okay, you imply that you have something that's a secret and that it's scarce. And it's very specific. You're going to learn, this is one of the most powerful techniques of all to closing, okay, is dropping your voice when you have something that's a secret to imply scarcity. Not that often you can hear about this. Get it while it lasts, okay? I say to someone, if you want someone to listen, you yell. If you want them to really listen, you whisper. There is so much power in a whisper, especially when they know that you have this thing I called, write this down, bottled enthusiasm. There's something that you have in here. It's like a chi that you have as a salesperson. It's this sort of ability that they know you are so enthusiastic and so spot on and sharp as a tack. They know it's there. They know it's there. And it can be unleashed at any second. And when you don't use it, they respect you more. If you come off sharp as a tack, I'm sharp as a tack, you lose it. You're done. Sharp as a tack becomes boring and dull. I'm sharp as a tack, and the reason for the call is this. Very simple. If you have 60 seconds, I want to share the idea with you. Got a minute? Not, got a minute? People say, got a minute? What sounds better? Got a minute or got a minute? Are they in the same league? Do they get the same response? What does got a minute mean? They're like, oh shit. They're like, I don't know. This guy's, what is he going to ram down my throat? Or, got a minute? It's no big deal. We're two reasonable guys. We all have minutes. You imply, write this down, the reasonable man. Got a minute? You do that, you disarm somebody. Immediately, he's like, well, yeah, I got a minute. Yeah, of course, I'm a reasonable guy. You're a reasonable guy. I'm a reasonable guy. Throughout the entire presentation, at strategic points, you're going to imply reasonability. Especially when you're asking him to start committing to stuff. It's reasonable, isn't it? Got a minute? Got a minute? Got a minute? They all mean different things. 9% of communication, guys and girls, is words. 9%. 91% is tonality and body language. And when you're on the phone, which a lot of us are, especially in the beginning, 91% is tonality, but you create the image through tonality. Simple as that. You must master tonality or you're wasting your time as a salesperson. And by the way, it's what charisma is all about. Charisma. It's about tonality, about making yourself so interesting. It's not the way you look even. It's the energy, that bottled chi that's inside you that can come out at any moment, but's held in check. People would say to me, well, I get on the phone with people and they ramble on. No one rambles when they're on the phone with me because they know better. Not that I'm going to hurt them. I'm 5'7", 150 pounds on a good day. Okay? It's because they understand that I'm an expert, I'm sharp, I got it. They don't want to piss me off. Does that mean they're going to buy? No. Because remember, we have those buying archetypes, right? Only certain people will ever buy. But I know that if I do it like this, everyone who can possibly buy will buy from me, not from somebody else. The worst fate for a salesperson is that you couldn't close them and somebody else did. That's the worst. That's the low point. Not that you pitched 10 people and no one bought. That's A-okay. That's the numbers game, like the sales funnel. The worst is they didn't buy from you and they bought from the next guy. Simple as that. So we go through the script. We get to this point now. Great. Well, the reason for the call, and you drop your voice to imply scarcity. So let's hear you do it. Great. Okay, great. Well.
Okay, great. Well, the reason for the call today is that you're one of the last of the group who hasn't actually enrolled yet. And if you have 60 seconds, I'd like to share an idea with you. You got a minute?
Okay. Let's do it and say, okay, great.
Okay, great.
Okay, now say it like you get it on the phone. I say yes. Okay, stop. Let me go back, right? You say, does that ring a bell? I say, yeah, it does. Now what do you say?
Okay, great.
Okay, now keep going. Stop. Now, well, the word well is a transition word. Okay? Write that down, the transition words. Well, but, now. These are crucial words in your script and in your sales that allow you to completely flip tonality and pause and create a new emotion. Do you understand that when you're closing, it's about managing the other person's emotion? To create a specific emotion, bump, 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 and the precise emotion you want at the right time. When everything else is in line, then you look for that emotion to say, you know what, I want to do business with this person. That X factor, you're managing someone's emotion, okay? Those transition words allow you to manage emotion more effectively. So the transition word is well. In the second sentence, it's now, okay? So you'd say, okay, great. Okay, now when she says, you say, okay, great.
Okay, great.
You say it, okay, great.
Okay, great.
And I say, okay, great. Which is better? The third, right? Raise your hand if the third is better. Of course, they're not in the same league. Now, you could say that. You just got to learn how. It's like, okay, great. Okay, great. Thank God we can move on to the next step now. You get, that's the words that you're implying. Okay, great. Like, I have what? What does that say? I'm what? Enthusiastic. Remember, let's put these three things back on the board here. We'll point to them with every single, what are we accomplishing? And you'll notice with each thing you do, you're accomplishing one. Sharp as attack, you're sharp, enthusiastic, okay, and a force. Those three things. A force, an expert, or an authority figure, okay? I say, okay, great. Where am I? Enthusiastic, right? Yes or no? Yes, okay. Now, so say, okay, great.
Okay, great.
Better, okay? Not, okay, great. You said it just right. They'll say, this person needs to be committed, okay? Okay? So again, I'm going to show you that there's this kill zone that you have to learn in your own voice, and that kill zone of tonality is when you're right, dead on, balls accurate. And when you're there, you're going to be just like, you'll know it. That's when you're in the zone. Those days when everyone that they're just laying down for you, that's what's happening. You're in the zone and you're controlling their emotions with the tone of voice, and everyone's saying yes, like, wow, I had a really good day. I don't know why. Now you know why. Okay? So let's go, great. Say now, okay, great. Well, the reason for the call.
Okay, great. Well, the reason for the call.
Okay, ready? Now watch this. Ready? Great. Now, well, what you do is you start off here. You're like, well, and you're here. Okay? He's here in tonality, right? Well, to drop to the reason for the call, he has to go down too low. The mistake you have is you're not starting off high enough. You have to give yourself a place to go. So if you say, well, the reason for the, you can't get there. It's like, well, the reason for the call. So you go up on well, your transition word creates the power for your next phrase. So if your transition word is going to be go to a state of scarcity, you want to say your transition word higher and then drop down, okay, to the secret to scarcity. So say, great, well,
okay, great, well, the reason for the call today is...
The reason, say the reason for the call today.
The reason for the call
Keep going, now.
Is that you're one of the last of the group.
Okay, ready? Say, one of the last of the group. Put all the words into one word. One of the last of the group. Let's hear it.
One of the last of the group.
Bingo. That's how you speak like an influencer. One of the last of the group. Not one of the last of the group. You're done. What are you not here? He's not, what? Sharp as attack. They know it. They know it. Okay? One of the top traders. One of the last of the group. Not one of the last of the group, like the guy's reading from a fucking script. They know it in 2 seconds flat. But just looking at your script as a guy and saying you're one of the last of the group who hasn't actually enrolled yet, if you have 60 seconds, pause. I'd like to share an idea with you. Got a minute? Got a minute? You're reasonable. I'm reasonable, right? Everyone who can say yes, who is like literally has a minute and has anything interested in you, what you have to say, they will say yes. Remember I said if you read the script one way, and I'm not getting down on him, I respect him greatly for getting up here, by the way, because he raised his hand up, the first person to pop his hand was him. Okay, I respect that, because no one cares whether you could do something well or not. All they care about is your heart, and this guy's got a heart. He will be a closer, for sure. So the bottom line is this, okay? You say something my way. Let's say we speak to 100 people, okay? And I do it this way. What percentage of the people you think that are closable will come forward with me? What percentage? Close to 100. Okay, if I read it my way. If he reads it his way, he might get 15 or 20% of the people to move forward. Because he hasn't captured their imagination and he hasn't established these three things. And if they do move forward, he has a significant uphill battle to fight because they know he's really not these three things. And now he's got to make such a case, such an airtight logical case, such an airtight emotional case. It's an uphill battle. You're not a closer, you're not an influencer, and you'll be killing yourself as a salesperson. So, and I'm going to tell you a story. This is a great story. And by the way, you're somewhere in between. Like you're a little bit higher up in terms of your tonality, is a bit more advanced, but still there's a lot of things that you're not capturing, and it's so easy to do. This is the point I'm making. This is like a learned skill. I don't have some magic bolt that I was born with. Yeah, I got it. But the point is it transfers to anybody.